So you're thinking about moving to the Greater Lansing area, and you've been checking out Google Maps on your computer, and you're thinking to yourself, what would be about 15 to 30 minutes away from my work? I mean, I work with clients all the time who say, I want to potentially be within 15 to 30 minutes away from where my job is going to be. Well, on this video, I'm going to show you some of the hotspots that are around the area on a Google map, and I'll be able to show you where the highways are, what would really potentially be about 15 to 30 minutes away from your work. And if you stick around to the end, I will show you my top 2 locations of where I would live if I wanted to be close to all the shopping, entertainment, restaurants, and I just wanted everything there within a couple minutes. So sit back, relax, enjoy a coffee, because we're about to start right now. Hey everybody, Troy Seibert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist in the Greater Lansing Michigan area. And each and every day, I get phone calls from people just like you who are looking to buy or sell their home. And whether you're looking to buy or sell within 9 days or 90 days, our team is here to help you out. Just give us a phone call or a text or an email at the information below here in the description. We would love to talk with you and talk about what your timeline looks like and what your real estate needs are. In this video, again, I told you we are going to take a look at the Google Maps. So let me on my computer right here, bring this up. I'll share my screen to you and we'll kind of investigate and take a look at the Greater Lansing area.
Okay, everybody, so I'm here on the map. And what you can see here with the Greater Lansing area is you can see that there are a lot of interstates all throughout, okay? I'm just gonna highlight right here is I-69 that travels all the way here. And then you also got I-96. Man, gotta love how this mouse goes, right? So you got I-96 that extends all the way out here. Then right here, right down in the center, you can see up here in St. John's, there is a highway that stretches all the way around here. This is 127 Expressway. And then also right here is the bypass 469. So there are interstates everywhere in the Greater Lansing area. And I have it zoomed out, first of all, to kind of just give you an idea of where a 15-mile radius might be and a 30-mile radius might be. And right here, like if I were to do like about a 15-mile radius from being in this spot in the center of Lansing, if I were to make a circle, and I apologize if my circle's not looking so great on here, but if I were to make a 15-mile radius circle of the Greater Lansing area, I would say it would be right, whoa, there goes my circle, right around this way, okay? That would be about a 15-mile radius right there. If I were to go to a 30-mile radius from the center of Lansing, it would extend, you see Portland here, down to Charlotte. Oh my goodness, folks. So right here, this is what happens when I'm using my laptop and I'm trying to go around and make a circle, but you got the idea. I kind of extended from St. John's down to Perry, over to around like just east of Williamston, a little south of Mason. Let's try it again. Okay, so right there, you can kind of get an idea of the 30-mile radius. Now, a lot of people that move to our area, if they're wanting to be like within like where their work space would be, I'm gonna kind of zoom in here a little bit. If you're looking to be close to your work, you're more than likely going to be working. Now, again, this isn't everybody, but especially if you're looking to relocate, you're looking to move to around this area. So this is where like MSU, Michigan State University, would be. And then if you look like along the bypass here of 496, right? I kind of zoomed in, you can see, sorry, I said the wrong thing. I said 469 earlier and it's actually 496, excuse me. So if you were to take the bypass here, there are a lot of businesses that actually go along this stretch. Like right around this area would be the hospital, center of Lansing would be the state of Michigan. You go further down, get towards where the Waverly area is, and you get close to auto owners, Farm Bureau, and then you also get closer to GM, which would be around here, and Meyer Distribution is around those areas. So all those areas I circled, you're really looking at, you're probably going to work somewhere within this vicinity. Now, unless like you're a teacher in Williamston, or you're going to be a teacher in Okemos, Williamston's right here, Okemos is right around there, right? I guess I'm just speculating, and that's not going to be everybody's job, right? So the thing that's nice is when I showed you that 15-mile to 30-mile radius, right there, it kind of gives you an idea of how far away you might be from work. And I think I said earlier in the video, a lot of my clients state they want to be usually on average is within 30 minutes of work. So if you're within 30 minutes of work, I'm just going to kind of zoom out really quick. If you're going to be within 30 minutes of work, then it's probably safe to say that you could add the city of St. John's to your filters as far north as that, because you see right here, you take the expressway all the way down. And then if you're working at MSU, or you're working at the city of Lansing or Auto Owners, any of those, you could either take this, or if you were working on the west side of town, you just kind of take the interstate here and you go all the way, take this over to the west side of town. So St. John's is definitely a possibility of a place that you should look into if you're wanting to be within 30 minutes of where you're wanting to work. Another possibility would be right over here in this section. You see it says Lake Victoria, but really Lanesburg is the name of the city. And Lanesburg, you can kind of even see here on the map, this is Lake Victoria right here. There are other smaller little lakes as well, some all sports lakes. If you're looking to live on the lake, that would be a spot that has affordable taxes and has some all sports lakes, but it's out in the country. It's kind of out, in the middle of nowhere. But if you want the private life, that might be a spot that you could definitely look at, and you still would probably be within 25 to 30 minutes from where you would want to work. Right over here is Perry. That's the furthest east I would go if you're wanting to look within a 30-mile or be around 30 minutes away from work. But it's pretty easy when you go along the interstate here on I-69. It continues to wrap around here, and you can just go right down here, boop. And if you're at MSU, you go this way. And if you're looking to work at one of the industries that I stated, it's not going to take you that long. The thing that's really nice about having interstates everywhere is that a majority of your driving is going to be roughly around 70 miles an hour, right? So wherever you drive, it's going to have high speeds. And wherever you're looking in some of these suburbs, it's going to be pretty close to an interstate. So Perry is one of those that, is definitely a spot that you could check out. And also the taxes there, in my opinion, are lower compared to some of the other areas of Lansing. Now I'm going to go a little further south here. Fowlerville might be the furthest east you would want to look. Because then you could just take I-96 and then take it all the way up to 127, which then could take you to MSU. Or if you want to go, to work somewhere in downtown or a little bit west of town, you can still do that within 30 minutes, I feel. Like if you were working on the west side of town, like over on this part of town, Fowlerville might be a little bit of a stretch to be able to try to make within 30 minutes. So maybe Williamston would be the furthest east you would want to look, because then Fowlerville would start getting to, pushing about 35 to 40 minutes. But a lot of it depends on traffic too and construction. So, again, Fowlerville just depends on where you're going to be working, within the scope of Lansing. Now I'm going to move a little bit. So here's Fowlerville, here's Williamston, right here. And then if you see like 43 here, 43 goes right into the Okemos area. So I'm going to kind of zoom in a little just so you can see. They call it Meridian Charter Township, but really it's Okemos. I don't know why it shows up like that. But right here is where Okemos would be. And then this road continues to go right into MSU. So the one thing I will say about this pocket over here, okay? I said that Lansing's surrounded by highways, right? So the one tip I will give you is if you are looking to live, in Okemos schools and Hazlitt schools, there are lots of properties that have lots of acreage. You can kind of see how spread out it is here. So there's a lot of back roads. So when I tell you want to be within 15 to 30 minutes of where you're going to be, of where you're working, if you start, or if your house ends up being anywhere in this vicinity, it's going to take you a little longer to get where you want to go because you're not going to have interstates the entire time. You're going to start taking back roads. My job where I work is right around this area. in Okemos. And so if I have to get to my other office that would be right here in East Lansing, I have to take some back roads. I don't have the interstate. I continue moving through these back roads. And honestly, right there, from here to here, even though it's Okemos to East Lansing, that can take me upwards of 15 minutes. So another thing to keep in mind if you're looking within 15 to 30 minutes of work is that if you're going to be in this pocket over here, which is Hazlitt, could be Williamston, could be Okemos schools, for you to get to the center of town, and if you're working for a corporation or towards the center of Lansing, that might take you a good 20-25 minutes depending on traffic. So you might not be able to go out as far when I show that 15 to 30 mile radius, just because of the fact that this is a little bit more spread out, and you're going to have some major back roads. Now right here you can see this right here, this lake. This is Lake Lansing. This is in Hazlitt area. This is another all sports lake if you're looking to live life on the lake. The thing I will tell you though about that area is that the taxes are definitely a lot higher than they would be up in Lanesburg with some of the lakes that are up in this area, and even a little bit further north. So some of these lakes that you see here, some of them are all sports lakes. Definitely the taxes are a little bit lower in the Lanesburg area, just as a heads up. So you can see here, right here is Mason. That's the furthest south I would go if you're looking for 20 to 30 minutes to be able to work towards the center of town. Because you can see right here, again, very easy highway access, go up to 127, and then you can take it wherever you would want to. It's right there on the highway. Then we got Holt right here. That was mentioned in one of my top 5 suburbs. That's here towards the south side of town. Obviously right here you've got a majority of just, this is Lansing City area over in this vicinity. Right over here is an area called Diamonddale. You're not seeing it here on the map because it's a little bit smaller than some of these areas, but Diamonddale ends up being here. If you go a little further south and take this road, you go down to a city called Eaton Rapids. That could take you maybe 25-30 minutes to work, depending on if you're more like on the south side of town. If you have to work in Okemos, maybe you could take it from Eaton Rapids and take this all the way over to Okemos, and Okemos, south part of Okemos would be right around here. So, I mean, that could be a possibility. Over here, Windsor Charter Township. That is Potterville area. And then if you go further down here on the west side of town and take this 69 further south, that takes you to Charlotte. I'm going to kind of scroll out here because when you see Charlotte, you're going to be like, well, that's not Charlotte, that's Charlotte. So right here, I mean, those of you from North Carolina or from the East Coast, that definitely says Charlotte to you, right? And I had to learn the hard way when I first learned here. It is actually pronounced Charlotte here in town. So just giving you a heads up, Charlotte is one of those towns when people first move here, you can tell if they're new to town because they don't know how to pronounce it. Another one is Okemos, because you see it as Okemos. People like to say Okemos, but it is Okemos. That's how you state that one as well too. But Charlotte would be the furthest south I would go if you were looking to be within 20 to 30 minutes, and this is more southwest, I guess, the most southwest I would go. And right here is Eaton Rapids. This is what I was talking with you about earlier. That could be a possibility for you. If you go further north here, you got Grand Ledge. That's a very popular area, one of my top 5 suburbs I had chosen in one of my videos as well. Take this a little bit further west, you start getting the Mulliken. That's a very small town. Obviously, it doesn't state Mulliken right here. That's how small it is. But that could be a possibility for you as well. It's just kind of out of town, out in the country more so. Go a little further north, you got Eagle right here. That is a smaller town. And typically, if you live in Eagle, you're either going to have Grand Ledge schools or you're going to have DeWitt schools. But the taxes there in that area tend to be lower as well. And if I take this right here and I go on 96 a little further west, just follow this, you see a city called Portland. This would be the furthest west I would go. I do have some clients that do live in Portland and they commute to the center of Lansing. Kind of like I showed you, they take this and they go this way and they just kind of go down to their work. Because you're traveling 70 miles an hour, again, like you can get a lot of places in a quick amount of time. But the thing I will say about Portland, you can kind of see right here, it's got got like a river up here. So in Portland, a lot of homes can have flood insurance. So it's something you're definitely going to want to double check on to make sure your home is not in a floodplain, because Portland is known for having a river that runs pretty much through the town, and it can continue to go right down in there. So Portland is a great city. It's an up and coming city. Typically has a lot of more like, fast food stuff, has a grocery store in that area. So not like a huge town, but also if you have some people that that live in Grand Rapids, you just keep going 96 all the way this way, follow the arrow that way, and that'll take you over to Grand Rapids, which would be probably about 30 to 40 minute drive depending on where you're looking to go in Grand Rapids. So some people choose Portland just because, hey, they can be a little bit closer to Grand Rapids. So if I continue to go further, okay, so I went to Eagle, and let's continue to kind of follow this here a little bit. Right here is where DeWitt is. I've talked about that as one of my top 5 suburbs. And then you also got Bath. That's another city here towards the north. So I think I've labeled a lot of the major suburbs, but now you can kind of get a feel of what Lansing looks like. And if you do state you want to be within 15 to 30 minutes, this is how close it would be. Now, I do want to give you an asterisk though. The thing I will tell you is that during the months of March until about November, you are going to run into construction season, and construction can affect your commute. Right now, as we're speaking here, as I'm speaking to you here in 2024, there's a huge construction project happening right around this area on 127, which is making commute times take a little bit longer. The governor in our state has made it a huge priority to fix the roads in our area. And in other videos that I state, that I talk about, the roads, I will state that Michigan has some of the worst roads in the country. They're not, but they're working on them. They continue to have all these projects. And so you see orange barrels everywhere, and so it can make you have detours towards your typical commute times that you usually have to work. So that's something else to keep in mind as well too, because if you're looking to be, if you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll check out Mason because it looks like it's really easy to the highway, and you're taking this north, you're going to go right into that construction project up here, which is going to be another year or two, and you're going to have single lane, and it could be backed up. You could have an exit that you need to get off at, which they have done that as well too. Even for some MSU professors, there's an exit that's closed and you have to take a detour. That could add another 10 to 15 minutes. So those are things to keep in mind during the construction season as well, that if you're right at 30 minutes that you want to be from where you want to work, you might want to look a little closer than that 30-mile radius, maybe closer to DeWitt, to Holt, just so that when construction season does hit, you're not having a much longer commute. So that's something I would want you to keep in mind as you're looking, that there are going to be construction projects that happen. There's one that's happening here. There's lane closures that happen up here in DeWitt on 69 all the time. So there can be traffic backups here. There's another traffic backup over here on 69 on this side, where they go down to single lanes. And again, traffic can be backed up and it can take you longer. So that's one thing I did want to point out with this, is that yes, even though we have interstates everywhere and 70-mile-an-hour roads, it's not uncommon during the construction season for exits to be closed because they're being worked on, for bridge construction to happen. There are things that happen within our area just because they are really working hard on trying to fix all the roads. So definitely keep that in mind as you're beginning to look as well. And I think earlier in the video, I had promised to all of you that I would show you if I were looking to, if I were looking to buy a home in the area, and I wanted to be close to all the shopping, and I wanted to be close to all the entertainment, and I wanted to have all the conveniences super close to me, where is it that I would look? Now, I'm doing a very generic map tour for all of you on here. I'm going to get into more in depth with some of the cities, just like some of the different suburbs here. I'm going to go a lot more in depth with that, was restaurants that you can look at and just things to pay attention to. So I wanted to create more of a big picture for many of you to see the Greater Lansing area as a whole. But I did want to concentrate on two areas here that if I were looking to buy a home, I want to be close to everything. This is where I would concentrate. So the first area, you can see right here, Capitol Prime. This is one of my favorite restaurants that I enjoy going to in the area. But this is very close to a popular area. So right here is a neighborhood called Groesbeck. Okay, if you saw like when I kind of zoomed in, and right here you can see here's the airport. So you're very close to the airport over here. So if you are somebody who needs to fly a lot for business, airport is right by there. This neighborhood has a lot of homes that are built in the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. They have sidewalks in there. They do have streetlights in that neighborhood. And a lot of homes in that neighborhood right now, ranches are going for around $300,000. If you're a larger two-story, they are pushing around $350,000. So $300,000 to $350,000 right now in the Groesbeck neighborhood. And in this area right here, if I go a little further north right here, you can see Capitol Prime, and you can see kind of like this outline with this yellow. That's more of a commercial area. So this is what's known as Eastwood Town Center. And actually Eastwood would be actually closer to just this area right here. So Eastwood Town Center is an outdoor mall. It has a lot of the high-end shopping places. It's got Williams and Sonoma, Pottery Barn. They have tons of restaurants. They have BJ's Brew House. Right here is Meijer, which I'll talk about that in a future video sometime. Meijer is the Walmart and Target of our area. There are Meijers everywhere. So you're very close to shopping there. There's a Kroger right within this area as well too. So you have your grocery shopping right there. So you have shopping, you have restaurants, and in this area, they continue to build even more restaurants. They are going to be building a Cooper Hawk restaurant that's going to open sometime next year. They are also, within this complex, they are also building a Dave & Buster's arcade. And that's a huge thing. There's hotels around there. There's a lot of building that's happening. There's a Sam's Club, there's a Walmart. So everything is right there. And the thing that's awesome too is you are super close to the highway. So wherever you would need to go, you could get to the west side of town if you needed to within 10 or 15 minutes. If you need to get to MSU, that's only going to be 10 minutes. So I really like this location just because it's so central and you're so close to a lot of things, and the home prices aren't astronomical. So that would be the first place or first neighborhood that I would desire to live in if I were looking to buy again. The other area, we're going to go a little bit further west here. So we're traveling the highway, taking the bypass here, right? So the other area I would want to be would be Delta Charter Township. And that, when I'm going to mark this, would be this area right in here. And you ask, why that area over here? Well, this main stretch right here that you see, this 43, which again, I think you saw, it runs all the way through. It's just, there's a lot of traffic lights. If you want to take M43, go for it, but it's going to take you a really long time to get anywhere. If you take M43 to get from west side of town all the way over to Williamston, it's going to take you forever. But this stretch in the west side of Lansing has tons of restaurants, right here you see the Lansing Mall. The thing I will say about the Lansing Mall is it is not the greatest mall in the entire world. When I first moved here, they used to have a Disney store. They had a Steve & Barry's department store. I don't know if you remember those at all, but they had a Yonkers, which used to be a part of like Bonton and Elder Beerman. They had a Macy's. They had a JCPenney. Every store was filled when I got here. And as time went on, just because of the way that online shopping has evolved, Lansing Mall stores, more and more stores started getting out of the Lansing Mall. But now they have in the Lansing Mall some anchor stores that have like a furniture store in there. It has a Cineplex there, Regal Cinemas. It also has Zap Zone, which is a huge family entertainment area. So that's over here on this side, but that's not even the highlight. Like if I continue to go down on this street, there's Red Robin, Carrabba's, there's an all-you-can-eat sushi place, there's Logan's Roadhouse, there's Longhorn Steakhouse. There there's Cheddar's, there's Chick-fil-A. Everything is down this stretch right here. All you gotta do is just keep going down the stretch. You'll continue to see more and more. And then even over on this side, over here, if you cross over the, like go underneath the bridge here where the other highway goes, this is what's known as Delta Crossings. This is another area that has been completely built up, that they have an Olive Garden over here. This is where Walmart is. This is where Hobby Lobby and TJ Maxx, they built a whole complex there. They built a Texas Roadhouse. It just got announced that they're gonna be building a Bass Pro Shops in this area, which Bass Pro Shops are not common in every single city. So again, that just speaks about the economy in that area. There's also a BJ's warehouse, which is a lot like Sam's Club and Costco. So again, you're seeing that like this area over here is built up. You'll have everything at your disposal. I am gonna do a video. This is I think this is right where it would be, is where one of the most famous places in Lansing is, which is Horrocks. Horrocks is a business of its own. It's a greenhouse. It has specialty foods. It has coffee, popcorn station, pizza, beer garden, live music. I mean, it is so tough to describe and put it in a box. Like Horrocks is its own thing. And so Horrocks is right here as well too. So again, you're seeing right here, this is where this would be a great spot. And if you're looking in a neighborhood in Delta Township, you would be so close to everything. And my family, we used to live in like really close to this area, like right around, I'm trying to think. Yeah, we were right around this area before we had moved. And I can tell, like, guys, it was awesome to be so close to Kohl's. Kroger was right down the street. To my grocery store. Saving so much money in gas. It was great. So I don't live in Delta Township anymore. I do live in DeWitt at the moment, and I do love DeWitt. But if not, everything to me had to be about being so close to everything as well too. So again, I said I would live at these spots if everything was about being close to all the action, everything that was there, the restaurants. There are plenty of other pockets, and maybe some of you might disagree with me. Might disagree with me with these two areas, and that's totally fine. That's totally okay. I respect you for that. But there's definitely some other pockets that will focus on in other videos, but I just don't feel like they have as much as these other two do. And so anyway, that's kind of the end of this map tour. Hopefully it was very informative for you. If you're looking to buy, or even if you're looking to sell a house, do anything with real estate, please again, contact me or my team in the information below. We would love to be able to help you out. Call us, text us, email us, give us a Zoom call. We would love to be able to schedule that with you and be able to meet with you. So until next time, I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.